The city's breath, a mix of rain and exhaust, hangs heavy tonight. It's the kind of night that swallows secrets whole, but sometimes, if you listen close enough, it whispers them back. My name's Jack Corrigan. I'm a private investigator, and my office is any dimly lit bar that'll have me. The story I'm about to tell you started on a night just like this, with a dame who walked in looking like $1,000,000 and smelling of trouble. She called herself Isabella Vancroft. Tall, elegant, with eyes that held a storm of their own. She slid a check across my desk, thick enough to choke a horse, and told me her husband, the industrialist titan Arthur Vancroft, had vanished. Poof, gone. The police were useless, she said. She needed someone who knew how to navigate the city's underbelly. She needed me. The money was good, too good. That should have been my first clue. But a man's got to eat, and my landlord isn't a fan of sob stories. So I took the case. My first stop was Vancroft's office. It was a palace of mahogany and leather, a testament to a man who had everything. His assistant, a nervous little guy named Peterson, was sweating more than a sinner in church. He stammered about a recent deal gone sour, a partnership with a man you don't cross. He mentioned a name that sends shivers down the spines of cops and criminals alike. Marcus the Hammer Thorne, the city's undisputed crime lord. Suddenly, this wasn't just a missing persons case. It was a dive into the deep end, with sharks circling. I started digging into Thorne's operations. I spent my nights in smoky jazz clubs and my days chasing down greasy informants in back alleys. Every lead pointed to the same thing. Thorne and Vancroft were tangled up, but not in the way Peterson thought. It wasn't business. It was blood. Thorne was squeezing Vancroft's empire dry, and rumor had it, Vancroft was finally growing a spine and planning to fight back. This was getting messy, and my gut told me Arthur Vancroft wasn't on a tropical vacation. I arranged a meeting with Thorne. His office was the back room of a high-end steakhouse he owned, the air thick with cigar smoke and intimidation. Thorne was a mountain of a man, with hands that looked like they could crush concrete. He laughed when I mentioned Vancroft. He said Arthur was a fly he'd swatted, a minor inconvenience. He warned me to drop the case, to walk away before I ended up in a concrete-filled barrel at the bottom of the river. He didn't have to say it twice. The look in his eyes was enough. But something didn't add up. Thorne was too smug, too open about his disdain for Vancroft. It felt like a performance. So I went back to the only other person in this twisted play, Isabella. I found her at her penthouse, staring out at the rain-soaked city. I confronted her. I told her about Thorne, about the threats, about the feeling that I was being played. She just smiled, a cold, empty smile. She told me I was a good detective, that I was getting close, too close, and that's when I saw it. On the mantelpiece, a silver picture frame. It was a photo of her and Thorne, laughing on a boat, looking a lot more than just business associates. They looked like lovers. The pieces clicked into place, forming a picture so ugly it could curdle milk. The missing husband, the grieving wife, the ruthless gangster. It wasn't a business deal gone wrong. It was a classic rotten-to-the-core setup. Isabella and Thorne. They weren't enemies of Vancroft. They were his executioners. They wanted his fortune, his empire, and they'd gotten rid of the only thing standing in their way. Me? I was just the pawn they hired to make the search look legitimate, the chump who was supposed to run in circles until the trail went cold. They underestimated me. I knew I couldn't go to the cops. Thorne owned half the force, and the other half was too scared to cross him. This was on me. I had proof, a sworn affidavit from a disgruntled dockworker who saw Thorne's men disposing of a large, heavy carpet in the river the night Vancroft disappeared. It was thin, but it was something. I called Isabella and told her I knew everything. I told her to meet me, to bring Thorne, or the proof went public. I picked the place, the old shipyards, where the ghosts of dead deals and broken men whispered on the wind. The rain was coming down in sheets, turning the cobblestone streets into black mirrors. I saw their headlights cut through the downpour. They got out of the car. Isabella, wrapped in a trench coat, and Thorn, his massive frame a silhouette against the storm. This was it. A final act. Thorn pulled out a gun. No surprise there. He said I was a loose end that needed tying. But I had an ace up my sleeve. I wasn't just a detective. I was a man who knew how the city worked. I'd made another call before they arrived. Suddenly, floodlights erupted, blinding them. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Figures emerged from the shadows, fanning out, their badges glinting in the harsh light. Not Thorn's cops, my cops. A few good men I still kept on my payroll, men who owed me favors. Thorn was stunned. Isabella screamed my name, a curse lost in the wind and rain. Thorn made a run for it, firing wildly into the dark. I didn't chase him. My fight wasn't with him anymore. I turned to Isabella. Her beautiful face was a mask of fury and disbelief. "You," she spat, rain and tears mixing on her cheeks. "You ruined everything." I just looked at her. "No, lady," I said, the rain dripping off my hat. "You did." The cops took her away, her sobs swallowed by the storm. Thorn got away that night. He slipped through the net, like he always does. Maybe I'll go after him, maybe not. Justice is a funny thing in this city. Sometimes it's a courtroom and a judge. Other times it's a dark alley and a choice. I walked away from the shipyard, leaving the flashing lights and the chaos behind. The rain had washed the streets clean, but I knew it was only a matter of time before the grime returned. It always does. My name is Jack Corrigan, and in this city, the night is always young, and there's always another secret waiting to be told. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button. There are a lot more tailies where this one came from.